And even for example, the kettlebell swing, which is, so if you were to break down the developmental regression of the snatch, you'd have the snatch as like the king, for example, and then right below that you have the clean, then right below that you have the swing, then right below that you have the deadlift. And so those are just some of the developmental chunks. But even a swing, and I bring this up because even a swing, which is probably the swing and the Turkish get-up, in my opinion, are probably two of the most iconic movements that people, when they think kettlebell training, whether they've seen it in a magazine like Muscle and Fitness or whatever, they're probably thinking, oh, the kettlebell swing and the Turkish get-up, or one of those two. And even though the kettlebell swing is a very fundamental kettlebell movement, what I always say is it is by no means a beginner movement. Like, the kettlebell swing is a ballistic movement. It's a repetitive power generating movement. And the ability to not only decelerate the load safely and effectively, but also you learn this dance between having to be very explosive and engaged and activated. And then you also learn in the same light how to turn off and be very relaxed as well. And so if you take sports, for example, like boxing, if someone were to throw a punch and stay engaged the whole time, that wouldn't really work. There's this snapping motion of going from tension and relaxation. And so a lot of times that coordination of that skill, that's a high level skill. And so what I tend to see is people will say like, oh, I want to do a workshop with you. I would love to learn, the kettlebell swing. And I'll say, okay, we'll get to that for sure. But there's a few steps before that. And oftentimes what I tend to see is most people, what they're coming in with is way lower than what's needed to safely and effectively do that. So to your point, if someone just grabs a kettlebell and wants to do a kettlebell snatch or 100 reps or whatever, man, there's a lot of steps before that. And even like with the kettlebell swing, like there's people who tout, and people even I respect in many regards for what they've done in the industry, but 10,000 swings or like 500 swings a day, and when they're doing that, they're not warming up, they're just grabbing it and going. And I'm just like, oh my God, shaking my head like, dude, there's just some sensible, like it's not even crazy, like some sensible rationality that somehow oftentimes when people do kettlebells, it just goes out the door and the window. But the kettlebell swing, there is some key steps before that. And what I find is that when you focus on that, it makes the whole journey so much easier. So even though in the beginning of your kettlebell journey, if you focus on posture awareness, core control, just some of the mechanics of a deadlift, learning how to hinge, all of those things, if you focus the majority of your time there, the learning curve goes like your progress is exponential. It's not like a linear line. It's I don't even know if the word is a bell curve. It's like maybe slow, and then boom, skyrockets. And that's really where I think, whether it's for the snatch or any of the movements with the kettlebells, that methodical progression is absolutely critical.